Welcome to Conversations with Gary here at World Renewal. Today, I want to talk about the donkey job. uh, Never talked about this before, and so it's interesting to me. Jesus heads for Jerusalem. This is his last trip to Jerusalem, and when they get close to town, it says he sent two of his disciples with these instructions. It says, go to the village across the way, and as soon as you enter, you're going to find a donkey colt tied there, one that's never been ridden before. Untie it and bring it. And then he adds, if anyone asks anything, what are you doing? Say, his master needs it. And it says the two disciples left and they found the donkey just like he said. And as they were untying the donkey, the owners said, what are you doing? What are you doing untying the colt? And they said, well, the master needs it. And apparently that was okay, and they brought the donkey to Jesus. Now, I don't know about you, but I have to wonder about these two disciples. From the time they left Jesus and they get to the village where the donkey is, what their conversation was. I think it could have gone something like this. Why do we always get the donkey job? You know, we're liable to get arrested here. They're going to think we're stealing the donkey, and it's supposed to be okay just if we say the master needs it. I have to admit, I've been assigned at times what I felt like was the donkey job. You know, they did it, but I think they did it feeling awkward. A lot of times when you are trying to be obedient to God, I think you feel awkward. At least I'm telling you I do at times. I've had situations where I thought, this is what God's asking me to do, but boy, I feel weird. I feel awkward or whatever. And it really is that way. And I can't help but believe that these two disciples on their walk didn't discuss, man, I got a bad feeling about this or something like that. The donkey job. Now, this donkey thing is not the only time you'll find this in the Bible. Do you remember what Jesus' first miracle was as recorded in the Bible? Where it was? It was at a wedding in Cana, and they ran out of refreshments. And Mary, the mother of Jesus, comes to Jesus and said, hey, they ran out of refreshments. And Jesus was like, yeah, so what do you want me to do about it? And she turns to the servers, who might have been slaves, so I don't know. And she turns to the servers and says, whatever he says to do, do it. And I think Mary had that kind of commanding way. It's the way God made her. And so Jesus tells him, go over there to the water jars. And I don't know if you've ever been in a country where there were two types of water. There was the drinking water, and then there was the water you use to wash with. And that was true in Jesus' day. You had the drinking water, and then you had the water that you'd wash your hands and feet. And of course, in that culture, one of the first things you would do when your guests came is to make sure they got their feet washed, because they were wearing sandals and the roads were not paved. It was dirt roads that had all kinds of animal traffic and human traffic, all kinds of things. And so it was just a custom to, if you wanted to treat your guests with honor, you would have the water there for them. But it wasn't clean drinking water. In fact, if you drank it, it would most likely make you sick. And so Jesus tells the servers to go fill their pitchers full of the foot washing water and take it to the host of the wedding banquet. And they did. And somewhere between the jar of the foot washing water and the host, Jesus changed to the best thing that the host said, man, this is the best tasting wine we've had. Now, I'm going to be real honest with you. I don't think Jesus created alcoholic wine. You may not care about that, but I do. And there's no way Jesus would create something that a guy could get drunk and go home and beat his wife. I just can't see that. But whatever he made, it was awesome. The focus here is on the awkward obedience of the food servers. Can you imagine how they felt going over there to the... I mean, they knew the rules. You know, you drink this water, you get sick. We have the drinking water over here. Jesus had them use the foot washing water. The people with the big faith were the food servers. And again, it's awkward obedience. Often when you do what God tells you to do, and talk about Mary, I mean, here she is. She's never had any kind of physical, sexual experience with a man. She's a virgin. And the angel tells her, you're going to be expecting a child, and this child is the Messiah. And she has to make a split-second choice. She says, I'm the Lord's maid, ready to serve. Let it be with me just as you say. And then for the next, maybe for the rest of her life, including right up to today, people say she had an illegitimate child. She knew she didn't. And Joseph, who was put in a tough spot as well, he eventually believed that she was only having this child because God had done a miracle and that she was a virgin. But she was in a tough spot. And what this really is about faith. The donkey job, the server job at the wedding, this situation with Mary, it's about faith. Faith is what makes real the things we hope for. It is proof of what we cannot see. God was pleased with people who lived a long time ago because they had faith like this. Let me tell you, if you want to join God's triumphant parade and to sing Hosanna like they did as he came into town on that donkey, it's going to take awkward obedience. It's going to take that kind of thing in order for us to experience the great victories of the kingdom. Says, then throwing down their coats on the colt's back, they helped Jesus get on, and as he rode, the people gave him a grand welcome, throwing their coats on the street. That's what happened. And at the crest where the Mount of Olives begins its descent, the whole crowd of disciples burst into enthusiastic praise, singing, Hosanna, blessed is the King who comes in the name of the Lord. Glory in the highest. And it happened because 2 disciples did the donkey job. They experienced awkward obedience. And because of it, there was this awesome outpouring of joy, people singing, the Messiah is here. But behind the scenes were 2 disciples standing in the crowd, or maybe walking along behind Jesus, who looked at each other and said, I never dreamed it was going to turn out like this when we went to get that donkey. It's awkward obedience. Yes, it is. God bless you today. Good to have this conversation with you. I encourage you, do what God tells you to do, even if you feel awkward, because you may end up, along with many others, singing praise to him for his faithfulness. It's all about trusting him, believing in him, and being obedient, even if it's awkward.